What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And in today's episode, I'm going to tell you why Jaxson Dart is the future of your New York Football Giants. In his rookie debut, he leads the G-Men to a 21-18 victory over the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers. I'll get into all of it on the other side of the intro. Hit it.
DiVincenzo at three. Bang! Bang! Second strike. At the wall. He jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career.
All right, getting into the episode, and ladies and gentlemen, the future is now. Jaxson Dart showed so much promise in his rookie debut against an undefeated Charger squad with a defensive-minded head coach in John Harbaugh. He showed everything that was promised to us. He showed his raw ability, his athleticism, his arm strength. We really got a glimpse into what we're going to see from Jaxson Dart. Now, there were a couple negatives, but I'm not too worried about them, and I'll get to them later in the episode. But what I really loved from Jaxson Dart today was that the Giants' offense looked like it was a 2025 style offense. They looked like they were throwing the ball downfield. They were running the ball the right way. And previously with Russell Wilson, everything was a screen pass or a dump off. They didn't take any shots besides those 4 quarters in Jerry World down in Dallas. Jaxson Dart looked like an NFL quarterback, which I haven't seen out of Russell Wilson this season. Jaxson Dart was the leading factor in the Giants' victory today. Post-game, he gave credit to the defense, which was tremendous. Brian Burns was all over the place. I heard Tyler Nubin's name a lot. Drew Phillips came up with a pick. Sexy Dexy, obviously, with the INT. But Jaxson Dart's the quarterback. And the quarterback is how you win football games. And class, let me ask you a question. Why haven't the Giants been winning football games for the past couple of years? Because they haven't had a quarterback. Now they have the QB, at least for this Sunday. And I would expect Jaxson Dart to continue doing what he did today moving forward. I think it wasn't a game where he went out and he was perfect and everyone's like, oh, this is what we're going to see for the next 20 years. But everyone knows in the back of their mind that it's too good to be true. There were the negatives that were evident, which kind of makes it feel like a reality more than what you hope to be a reality. Obviously, it was tremendous watching Jaxson Dart go out there, ball out. Cam Skattebo as well. Cam Skattebo, for a late round pickup in the draft, he has been awesome this year. I mean, Devin Singletary has been all right for the Giants. He gave them a solid amount last year. Today he had 28 yards on 7 carries. But Skattebo is the guy to watch out for in the rushing attack, man. 25 carries, 79 yards. He wasn't able to punch in this week, but he had the touchdown last week against Kansas City, and he was back flipping in the end zone. I mean, the dude is just an energizer bunny. When Tyrone Tracy gets back on the field, we're really going to get the glimpse of Tracy and Skattebo, because these first couple weeks, Scat has just been getting his feet under him. And I think this week was my favorite performance to date. He looked like he was an NFL running back and not a guy that was still transitioning from his days at Arizona State to his days with the New York Giants. Cam Skattebo looked like he could carry the load, where I was under the belief that he was just a third down back previously. Today, Cam Skattebo showed me that he has the ability to be a top running back on an NFL team that wins a football game against a formidable team from the AFC West, which is not a bad division by any means of the imagination. I mean, I just saw so much good stuff from the game today, and it was from the opening kickoff that I just felt a different energy in this game. I mean, the defense comes out there, they force a 3-and-out on the first Charger possession. Then the Giants get the ball, they have solid starting field position, I would say probably around their own 30-yard line for Jaxson Dart's first NFL drive. Jaxson Dart comes out with incredible poise and leads the G-men down the field and runs a quarterback draw all the way to the end zone for the first touchdown of his NFL career. But more importantly on that drive, it was the three young guns. It was Dart, Stat, and Neighbors the entire way down the field. I don't think a single other player touched the ball. That drive had me on the edge of my seat. I was so hyped up because of the players who were touching the ball. It wasn't because Darius Slayton made some circus catch that he's going to make 1 out of 20 tries. It wasn't because Jaxson Dart threw the ball to Bo Collins or Jalen Hyatt, some of the other guys that just aren't going to be real contributors on this team down the line. It was to Neighbors, and I'll get to more on Neighbors in a couple minutes because unfortunately, it seems like Malik Neighbors, the sophomore receiver, is going to be done for the year with an ACL, and I'll get to my thoughts about the MetLife Stadium turf. It's uncanny, the rate that it's snatching ACLs, snatching Achilles. John Mara and the Giants, I don't know if Woody Johnson has any stake in MetLife Stadium, but they need to fix that field because there's no reason to put players in harm's way because the playing surface is just not good enough. But the last thing I'm going to say on the topic of the new Giant quarterback Jaxson Dart is the way that Brian Daboll grabbed him and was screaming into his face about 3 inches away as the clock struck 0. That look from Brian Daboll is the look of a man who knows his job is going to be safe if his young buck can keep this up for another 2 to 3 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Brian Daboll will be returning next season, and I know this was just the 4th matchup of this season for the Giants. This was just week 4 that is in the process right now. But that Giant win today, that was a real win. That wasn't a fluke. That looked like it was real football. And I think it started with the play calling. Like I mentioned before, the Giants looked like they were running a modern offense today, which I haven't seen from them in the past 4 weeks. Every time Russell Wilson was at quarterback, under center, in the shotgun, whatever you'll say, it just wasn't an offense that you would see today. I mean, the Saints probably have a better offense. It's not good enough what the Giants are putting out there. But it wasn't good enough. That's a correction. But this week, they looked like a formidable football team on both sides of the football. And now transitioning to the defense, this is what I have been waiting for. There was one thing I had a problem with, and it was the tackling. It was swarming to the ball, which I didn't think the Giants did a great job of. The example I'll point to is Justin Herbert scrambling and picking up a 3rd and 18 late in the first half. That's just not okay. There were 3 Giants that were sort of in the area. All of them were very slow to react to Herbert getting out of the pocket. I'm trying to think. There was the one play, the Chargers were deep in their own territory. I believe it was the 3rd quarter. It was an Omarion Hampton handoff, and he just ran right through Tyler Nubin. I mean, he was dragging Nubin with him for a good 10 yards, and Tyler Nubin had a good grasp on Hampton, too. It wasn't like Hampton just bounced off of him. It took Nubin about up to the 20, 25-yard line before a pack of Giants could get to the area of Hampton and finally bring him to the ground. So that was the one issue I had with the defense today. But other than that, I mean, Brian Burns has really stepped up this year. I was disappointed in Brian Burns last year. I'll tell you that much. But this year, I feel like I've heard his name being called on the broadcast so much more. I feel like I've seen Spider-Man running around the field a ton more. He got the huge sack today, hit his signature Spider-Man celly. it was just a great day all around on the Giants front. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The Dexter Lawrence interception, you love to see the big man interception. I think that was the loudest the stadium was all day when Dexter Lawrence had the ball and he was running downfield, rumbling towards the Giant end zone. Unfortunately, didn't make it. But it would have been sick if he was able to punch in for 6. And then the last topic I'll mention on defense, Abdul Carter, his best game of the season. And he was finally playing as an edge rusher and not as a linebacker. I mean, I don't know what Shane Bowen and the Giant coaching staff were thinking playing Abdul Carter, the 3rd overall pick, the supposed next Micah Parsons, as a linebacker. I mean, you drafted the dude to run at the quarterback, and now you're playing him as a linebacker? Doesn't make sense to me. But all is well in Giant World today. Carter was playing on the edge. He was in the backfield a good amount. Jaxson Dart showed so much promise in his rookie debut. Cam Skattebo continued to prove himself as a rookie. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors did go down with an injury. His season could be over. But so much good to go around today on the Giant front. And I don't think I ever wanted to find negatives on Jaxson Dart, so I'm going to do that right now. But I want to preface it with this. You have to be patient with the kid. I mean, he's been in the NFL for a total of 3 weeks. And I think I went through all the positives today ad nauseum. I think I told you everything that Jaxson Dart did well. There were 2 things that I thought he could have been better with. His internal clock looked off on a couple plays where he took a couple big hits in the backfield that I don't think he was expecting. And then when he was getting out of the pocket and running the ball downfield, he took way too many unnecessary hits. I'm going to point to that one rush where he ended up being mandated to get checked out in the medical tent because he just ran into a guy, tried to stiff arm a Chargers defensive back, and he got folded. I mean, you're an NFL quarterback now. I know a lot of his play in college was running through people. He talked with John Gruden before the draft saying, I want to run everyone over. I don't want to get down. But Jaxson Dart is going to have to learn to get down in the NFL. This is a different game. This is a different league than the SEC. That's just the facts. However, he did a tremendous job. I am extremely satisfied with what I saw out of Jaxson Dart and the Giants today. All right. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a comment down below, following, subscribing, sharing it with a friend. I really appreciate all of it. Also, if you want to leave a voicemail with your hot takes or sports questions, you can do so by dialing the number 848-305-8073. Again, that's 848-305-8073. And last but not least, make sure you keep it locked with the Sports Pod.